Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. A former Ripple employee has vanished. Here's a headline from Decrypt. Where is Katherine Coyle? Crypto world puzzled by disappearance of former Binance US chief. And indeed, Katherine Coyle, former Ripple employee, moved on to become the CEO of Binance US. And haven't heard anything from her in months since she was ousted from that position. And this has caught the attention of, this article caught the attention of David Schwartz, who of course is Ripple CTO, who also co-creator of the XRP ledger itself. But there are a number of people that had noticed. And so, before we go any further, I do want to be clear, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos as an interesting and fun hobby here. So, she was with Binance for a little shy of 2 years. And I'll tell you what, as much as I'm a fan of Ripple, and I'm sure anybody that gets a job there at this point, because they have kind of stringent requirements, it's like party time. It's kind of harder to get in there, is my understanding at this point. As awesome as that is, becoming the CEO of Binance US, kind of a bigger deal, running the whole damn company, right? And so here is a headline from July 2nd, 2019. Ex-Ripple executive Katherine Coyle joins Binance US as CEO. Katherine Coyle, former head of XRP institutional liquidity at Ripple, has joined Binance US as CEO, industry sources have told The Block. Coyle previously worked for Silicon Valley Bank and Morgan Stanley, managing foreign exchange business, before joining blockchain startup Ripple in 2017. And so I don't want to go through the whole article. I just want to set the table so that everybody out there understands who she is. For those of you that are unaware. And CZ, who is the founder of Binance and the CEO of the whole thing, said the following in a press release at the time. I am confident that with Coyle's leadership in Binance's leading technology platform, Binance US will be able to provide valuable services to the US community. And then Coyle shared her own enthusiasm, stating, "This is just the beginning of a long journey ahead, and I look forward to working with Binance as a partner to unlock more potential for the blockchain ecosystem here in the U.S." And since then, she ended up ultimately getting ousted, which occurred in April of this year. Nothing has been heard from her, but her profile is actually still up. This is her Twitter account right here. And she's still listed as CEO of Binance. And I remember initially, after the story of her getting ousted, I didn't catch it right when it happened. And so I don't know if it was a week or so later, I came across a story that mentioned the new guy that had taken over. And then I saw I saw her profile, and I noticed that this was still listed even back then, that it still listed her as CEO. And I was like, well, that's interesting. And so Dictator Know-It-All, who is an XRP community member, retweeted this story and ultimately tagged David Schwartz, Ripple CTO. And David Schwartz wrote, "I'm going to reach out to her and see if she responds. Now you have me a bit worried." And so into the story now about her actual disappearance here, which is a little strange to go months without any sort of, hello to the outside world. And by the way, also, as you'll see as I go through this article, it was also kind of strange because Binance really hasn't said anything about this either. It's all a little peculiar here. And so it reads as follows. What happened to Katherine Coyle? The whereabouts of the 30-something former CEO of Binance US is a mystery gripping the crypto world. Until April of this year, Coyle was active on social media and a fixture on the crypto social circuit. She was popular with others in the industry. Call me Coyle, she would tell those who first met her, and always quick to respond to event invitations and questions from members of the media. Since that time, Coyle has effectively vanished. Yeah, and so she really did. I follow her on Twitter, and so from time to time she'd pop up on my feed, and she'd be out there actually answering questions from customers of Binance US, like just trying to take care of them. Like, and she's on the top. I thought it was cool anyway. But anyway, the piece continues. No one has reported seeing her in San Francisco where she worked, and her once lively Twitter account has been silent since April 19th. A former colleague tells Decrypt Coyle did not acknowledge recent birthday greetings from friends, Perhaps strangest of all, Coyle's LinkedIn and Twitter accounts still describe her as CEO of Binance US. All of this has led the more conspiracy-minded corners of crypto to ask whether she is still alive. Now, that's, to me, a little too far. It's a little premature. There's a lot of stuff that could have happened. And you know where my brain went initially is, this is because, look, I have no information about why there was this departure, why she ultimately got ousted, but I could only imagine if it was me, and I wouldn't be feeling too great for a while, and maybe it would take me a while to want to get back out there and like confront the world again. Like, I don't know, maybe I'd feel like that. Who knows what she's got working in the background, though. Maybe she's not, by the way, moping around totally legit when something like this happens in life and hits you in the face. But I don't know. Maybe she's not. Maybe she's got all sorts of cool stuff going on in the background. Either way, I'm just saying, jumping to the question of, oh, she might not be alive. That sounds like a little bit too much, okay? Little reasonable speculation, but that seems like a little bit of a stretch to me anyway. But anyway, the piece continues. The answer to that question is yes, as two people tell Decrypt of having recent communications with her. Those include a text message exchange and communications with Binance that occurred through an intermediary. While her current whereabouts are unknown, few doubt that her disappearance from the public sphere is a direct result of her ousting from Binance US. The firm is a subsidiary of Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, whose maverick CEO, CZ, tapped Coyle to run U.S. operations in July 2019. Now, by all appearances, Binance approved of Coyle's performance, celebrating her appearance on the Fortune 40 Under 40 list on its official Instagram account last year, which is what's on your screen right now. But on April 20th, the Wall Street Journal reported that Binance had hired Brian Brooks, a former top lawyer at Coinbase and acting head of the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, to be its new CEO. And so, look, this is just how it kind of goes in life in general. If something if there's internal strife within a company, if the company's being good about it, you're not going to know. You're not going to have a clue. Yes, fine, sometimes things leak out here, but typically when there are shakeups like this, they usually come out of the blue, right? But anyway, the move made strategic sense for the company. Coyle had an impressive resume with a 5-year stint as a trader at Morgan Stanley and experience at crypto company Ripple, but she did not have pull in Washington. So this is where the speculation gets in. A place where Binance is scrambling to gain traction as regulators breathe down its neck over its loose approach to consumer safeguards, which I'm going to hop into in just a second after I wrap this portion of the video up here. And look, they're just speculating here. They're effectively saying that Katherine Coyle was ousted from her CEO position because Brian Brooks was more of an insider. And so speculation's fine, but I don't know. Like, just to me, that's such a leap. There could be any number of things behind the scenes going on, whether Catherine's in the right or wrong, or CZ's in the right or wrong. Who knows? There's no way to know. But it is true that Binance, and I haven't seen anything about Binance US specifically, but it is part of Binance, Binance has been in a world of trouble, and I've reported on some of it on the Moon Lambo channel here, and I'm gonna share with you a few headlines before we we get to the end of this video. But let me go on a bit further here. So I think I read this last. A place where Binance. Yeah. Oh, yes. See, she did not have pull in Washington, a place where Binance is scrambling to gain traction as regulators breathe down its neck over its loose approach to consumer safeguards. Now, Brooks, by contrast, had just finished a stint leading the agency that oversees the country's banks and had years of experience dealing with regulators. Nonetheless, Binance handled Brooks' hiring in clumsy fashion. Now, this part I actually do agree with. In the ordinary course of business, a firm will treat the replacement of a CEO, even one who has botched things, which Coyle did not, they write in parentheses, with a flurry of press releases thanking them for their service and, in many cases, appointing them a new role with an impressive title. And let me just say here, too, this article is speculating, stating that Katherine Coyle didn't botch things. We don't know internally if there were any things that went awry. We do not know. So that's pretty big speculation right there. I'm just going to say I don't know. I don't have a reason to believe one way or the other. I don't know why they took the liberty here to state that she did not. Is the author of this piece of Decrypt an insider at Binance US? Well, no, we already know that. So that's a little too far. But anyway, Binance, CZ, and Brooks said nothing at all about Coyle, nor have they since. Binance declined to comment for this story. Coyle did not respond to 2 direct messages sent to an account from which she has replied in the past. And so it is a little bit strange that nobody's talking, but there could be legal implications. There could be legal reasons why. So check this out. The unceremonious ousting reflected poorly on Binance, not least because Coyle was one of a small handful of women who occupied a senior position in an industry dominated by men. And here's a quote. They exited her stage left without so much as a mention, and given how much work she did, I found it disgraceful and distasteful, says Meltem Demirs, an executive with the company CoinShares and a vocal figure in the crypto world. So what actually happened between Binance and Coyle? Well, sources who spoke on the condition of anonymity say CZ had hoped Coyle would remain at Binance after the hiring of Brooks, but that she no longer wished to stay, and that Brooks, who has a hard-nosed reputation, did little to encourage her to do so. Now Coyle and Binance are most likely in litigation over her ouster, a situation that typically obliges participants to remain tight-lipped. If this is the case, Coyle may also be using her silence as leverage for a potential settlement in which she agrees not to disparage her former employer. So whatever the explanation of her current vanishing act, the upshot is that the crypto world has lost a rising star female executive for now. So, yeah, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if litigation or potential litigation is the reason. But I mean, if litigation is the reason, that means things are moving in the background. They have to be, right? Wouldn't you think? I speculate that. If that's the reason, you would think after about 3 months that things would already be in motion on that front. But still, it's a little peculiar that they couldn't have had something more, like some sort of public this or that, just some sort of statement. It is a little bit strange. You'd think they'd all want to save face here, but hey, if this is going to get messier, then maybe we're going to find out about it in the news sooner than later, in which case, of course, I'll be happy to cover it. But bigger picture, hopefully she's fine, and given that there are people that are alleging to have at least had some contact with her, I suspect that is indeed the case, but don't blame David Schwartz for having genuine concern despite that. And so look at this headline. This is from Crypto News Flash. Binance ceases its stock tokens service as Italy and Hong Kong join the regulatory crackdown. This is one of like 11 billion headlines that are coming down on Binance, reporting on entities, like governments coming down on Binance. It's been really bad. I don't know if you guys have been seeing it. So that's why I'm hoping here, because I have a Binance US account. I hope that it's not going to be a problem. Because I haven't seen any problems with Binance US. I'm not aware. If anybody is aware, let me know. But I haven't seen any sort of legal issues with Binance US specifically. But with Binance, which is again, call it the parent company. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. They're having all sorts of trouble here. And so here you can see on Friday, July 16th, crypto exchange Binance announced that it will discontinue its stock token service launched earlier in April 2021. Thus, effectively, immediately, users can no longer buy stock tokens on Binance.com. And so basically what they were doing, as I understand it at least, is they were tokenizing stocks. And you could, so kind of blurring the lines between what's a stock, what's a crypto, basically. Because like I've said, what isn't going to be tokenized in the future, right? I think stocks are a no-brainer. Because there are technological advantages, right? And you can take out middlemen in terms of transactions, this and that. So, but yeah, so this is one thing, and this is because of regulatory issues right here. And I don't want to read the whole article. I just wanted to highlight a few things that have been happening here. That's the latest one. Here's another headline. This is from May 13th this year. Binance faces probe by U.S. money laundering and tax sleuths. That's not so hot either. Here's another one from Quartz. The world's biggest crypto exchange is running into trouble everywhere. And then there's this. Ripple CTO slams regulators as Barclays blocks Binance payments. And I actually covered that on the channel before. So Barclays, they were shutting down payments, but really it was due to, I would argue, regulatory pressure. But yeah, the fact that a bank can do something like this, it's not ideal because it's against what the customer wants here. But you can see like they're getting hit from all sides, just on all different corners of the world. So hopefully they're able to overcome this, because this is the largest cryptocurrency exchange on the planet by volume. Binance itself is. So who knows? I'll update as soon as I know more, but hopefully all is well for Katherine Coyle. I know that she really is well liked in the world of crypto, but I will go ahead and wrap it up there. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.